Hi everyone and welcome to episode 321 of the Mike White's podcast. I'm Jack, as always joined by Casey.
Yeah, hello.
How's things, mate?
Yeah, not so bad. We're back now. Two podcasts in a week.
Yeah, just in time for us to disappear again. Yeah. But stuff happened, and we said we'd be back if stuff happened.
It's almost like we put the club under pressure, and it paid off.
So what you're saying is, if Gabriel Gudmundsson is shit, the fan base can blame us.
No. We just wanted things to happen, and things did happen.
The things themselves we are not responsible for.
They are still on the hook for the general quality of said things.
Yeah. Well, look, the first, obviously, that's the main story. Gabriel Gudmundsson signed from Lille, around about 10 million quid. I think it's officially undisclosed, but everywhere's saying about the same number. Now, the first thing is when Leeds sign a left back, it doesn't even matter if you look into everything and everything looks good. Left backs are a bit cursed at Leeds, just as a rule. So you're just having to hope and pray that he can avoid it. Left back can play as a winger and has played centre back before, usually on the left of a back three when he does. But looking at Leeds' squad, that seems very unlikely because if Leeds play a back three, it'll be Strauch at left centre back. And I think Biol plays there as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the age profile as well.
Is he another on the list of everyone who's 26?
He is 26, yes. Yeah. What's 1.8 meters as well, so he is
just shy of 6 foot.
Yeah. Let's have a look at that. It is. No, he is small. He's too small. Send him back.
Yeah, he is not over 6 foot. So, pardon me. He also played. I didn't realize this, but I looked at his transfer marks, and he did play as a striker and stuff when he was young. But I don't think you can read much into stuff from the Swedish league 6 years ago.
Oh, so did Gary Kelly, and look what that got him. I will say that the brief stats that have flashed up for this season, he has no assists, which, in contrast to our outgoing left back, is something of a change.
Yeah, their styles of cross don't seem to be too dissimilar based on the stats. Like Gudmundsson likes a low cross or the pullback, which Firpo also likes. But the difference in sort of creativity looks very different. Like Gudmundsson doesn't seem to be someone who's going to come inside and play a really nice through ball like Firpo would. He's not just going to rock up at number 10. Which, in the Premier League, that's probably a good thing. But it is less fun.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a word I think we'll be using a lot this summer in the super sexy pragmatic stylings of Daniel Farke's team next season. I think having Junior for as much as I would have liked us to, I mean, I probably would have gone. I don't know how I'd have played it if we'd have kept both Bogle and Firpo. We'd have had to play 4 central defenders, I think.
Play a back 6 with wing backs.
Yeah, but still more attacking than George Graham's previous iterations of a back 6. But yeah, I think it kind of it looks like a very sensible signing. He is a reasonable price. He has played at a decent level. We have liked the majority of our Swedish players.
I mean, I think that's true.
I think it depends where you fell on how you felt about Pontus Jansson after he left. But
I like Jansson. I definitely like Jansson. Didn't like Pavel Kubicki.
Oh yeah, he was Swedish, wasn't he? How did you feel about Teddy Lucic?
I wasn't a big fan of Teddy Lucic. I mean, I liked him for a few minutes after he scored that goal at Stamford Bridge.
Thomas Brolin?
No, I don't really remember Thomas Brolin. Luckily, but still no.
No, maybe not.
Yeah. So actually, he's got some catching up to do.
Which one was Marcus Antonsson?
He's Swedish as well.
I did quite
like Marcus Antonsson, even if he wasn't that good.
in theory, he was a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I say, we liked all our Swedish players. They've all been resounding successes.
You said that he's played at a good level. Obviously, he played like 100 odd games for Lille. Last couple of years, they got in the Champions League and then came fifth. He played in all the games in the Champions League and they finished seventh in the big group to get straight into the knockout stages. So it appears they did quite well. He did quite well. Their defence was the second best in the league behind PSG. I can't claim to have seen loads. He seems quick enough, but not rapid. He one of his main strengths seems to be that when he picks up the ball, he's quite good at driving forward with it. So he's good at getting you up the pitch, which really helps. But it's a lot more sensible than someone like Firpo was. There was a few clips going around. I think it was that Focus on Leeds on Twitter. That it was him losing some runners going in behind. But I think that happens to all fullbacks. And depending on what Farke's doing with our fullbacks this season, if their starting position's quite high, that's going to happen no matter who your fullback is at some point.
Yeah, and it's going to happen because we will be a struggling team in the Premier League.
Yeah, a lot of the time with stuff like that, it's more about getting pressure on whoever's playing the pass from the midfield than the actual runner. Because, obviously you're not going to play against absolute top class every week. But if, for instance, it's Salah, he's gonna get in behind. Sometimes you just have to more make the pass difficult. And we've, in a very non-Leeds United move, we've actually sort of signed a couple of left backs because we've re-signed Sam Byram.
Yeah,
and we had gone past the end of his contract, so this is re-signed. This is not new deal.
Like a new signing. Wonderful.
Yeah, literally like a new signing.
Yeah, I got to break the news to Connie about this last night because he sent me a text saying it was a shame that Byram had left. So I screenshotted the Twitter account and just sent him a screen grab going, I've got some good news for you.
John Cena, are you sure about that meme?
Yeah. I think it's what we wanted. He is a senior pro that is needed around the club, and I think especially when you look at the likelihood of a couple of the other players staying, especially not that we need to get into a long discussion about it now, but the likelihood of Patrick Bamford sticking around is probably not the greatest. So I think when you looked at our squad profile, you do need a couple of those players that are experienced and probably over 30 as well.
Yeah, there was way more negativity about this than I expected. Because I wasn't expecting him to play much, but I thought 1 year deal to be, third choice right back, third choice left back.
Plays in the cups.
Yeah, you can play when we get knocked out in the first round we're in of the League Cup. That's fine. And if you want someone to come at a game where I don't know, if there is a game where we're holding on at 2-1 up with 5 minutes left, that sort of situation is all right to come on in. I think it makes loads of sense. I'd be very surprised if there was anything after this season.
Yeah,
I suppose unless I was going to say unless we go down, which is statistically likely. So maybe.
And then he becomes first choice right and left back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it is a decent move. I think he will become Big Joss, essentially.
Yeah. Uncle Sam.
Him and Alex Cairns just hanging out together, just going, look at our kids.
Yeah.
Look at them, all the 26-year-olds.
And I'm also just pleased for him because this is the thing that he said he wanted, didn't he? He wanted to get promoted with Leeds. And he wanted to play in the Premier League with Leeds. And I'm sure he will get some minutes so he can say that's true. We're also making a couple of under-21 signings by the looks of it. Obviously, never seen them. But Louis and Nahoro Marcus, who's a centre-back from Liverpool, he played loads for their under-18s, scored 1 goal, which was against Leeds. And Jadon Leonu, who, by the stats, doesn't seem to have played much at all last season, having joined from Everton. But he's 17 years old, he's a left-back. He's expected to join with 21s. I have no idea if either of them are any good, obviously. But Leonu, I think that's a clever move for him if he's backing himself. Because if you're a young left back, go to Leeds because we always need one. It doesn't matter that we've just spent 10 million on one literally like yesterday. We always need a left back. If you're a young left back, you'll end up in the squad soon if you just be all right.
I
We've
mean,
also,
at the moment, if you're able-bodied, you'll be in the squad.
yeah, because what would be right now? Because you have to assume that, like, on the opening day, assuming it's a back four, because I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Are we assuming it's Bogle, Roden, All Gudmundsson?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the more I look at our squad at the moment, I could see us going 3-4-3.
I don't think we will in this game. I think that we will in some games.
But yeah, I think if you're going back four, I think that's probably what we're looking at. Also worth mentioning that Verba has departed once again.
Oh yeah. What was it, Werder Bremen?
Yeah.
Cool. Fine. See ya. Thanks for that goal. Pardon me, you talk, Kissy.
I don't recall saying good luck on the way out, but sure, if that's what you heard, I'm happy for him to think we said that.
Apologies for that. I've picked up a bit of a cough at some point. Of the 21s, Harvey Vincent, Coben Bird, Josh McDonald, and Rory Mahadi have all signed new pro deals. From what I've seen, I like McDonald. He seems to really have something about him. And I really like Rory Mahadi, but I think it's just because he is Jordan Pickford. He only braver with his passing. Now, whether he'll actually kick on and be a really good goalkeeper, I don't. If there's any position that's harder to judge, it's a goalkeeper for this. But I really like Mahadi from what I've seen, so I'm glad he's sticking around.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because they gave him a little feature article, didn't they, on the website as well, with a bit of an interview with him. See Sean Holloway. The standard bearer for young goalkeepers for me.
Yeah. He got paraded around the pitch, didn't he?
Yep. He was a fantastic signing at 15 years old or whatever he was when we got him.
Yeah.
We got a 15-year-old. He's going to be brilliant. How do you know? Just trust us.
You can't underestimate how big it is to be the first choice goalkeeper for Staines.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah. Not his fault. Shows what sort of people we had running it at certain times.
Yeah. But yeah, always nice to see players sticking around.
Yeah. There's a couple of links to centre mids. One of them looks very close. We've still been linked with Anton Stach from Hoffenheim. So he's 6'4" centre mid. Couple of caps for Germany. People who watch loads of the Bundesliga seem to really fancy him and think he'd be a good signing. And places that seem to get it right more often than not are saying that we want Stack and Sean Longstaff, which I assume means Gruev's going.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Gruev. I think as the season went on, Gruev to me was very much yes, his ball retention is very good, but it wasn't the most positive football either. Until we got promoted, then all of a sudden, sort of roaming playmaker Ilya Gruev. But it's a difficult one. One, he definitely doesn't fit the physical stature, the profile that we are clearly looking at, as the gaunt Eastern European who seems to struggle to keep on any weight, by comparison to the sort of Marvel Avengers that we are assembling.
It's gonna Outenaker's gonna look weird in this team, isn't it?
It's just going to turn up on the opening day of the season, looking around, going, "God, everyone's bigger than I remember them being."
We're on telly. They're gonna during like the shitty Premier League anthem. They're gonna go along the thing, and you're just gonna see the camera. Just have to drop down a mile.
Yeah.
But no, Stack appears to be pretty good. But the one that seems really close is Sean Longstaff. David Ornstein, who is about as good as it gets in terms of reliability, Leeds have bid 10 million and 2 in add-ons for Longstaff. The noise from the Newcastle end is that they wanted a bit more, but Longstaff knows he ain't going to play. He doesn't want to run out his contract. He's got 1 year. He doesn't want to run out his contract and leave for free because he doesn't think that's good for anyone, especially when he ain't going to play this season. So it sounds like they've dropped their price a bit because they like him. He always works his bollocks off, and he's got, look, this is best for everyone, and they've sort of agreed.
I wonder if Anthony Gordon sat there thinking, "What are you doing, pal? Just kick off. Don't turn up to training. You go where you like." Then it's.
Well, I mean, in fairness, the difference is, I dare say Longstaff doesn't really, and this isn't because it's potentially us. I don't think he actually wants to leave because it's his club, isn't it? But he just knows he ain't going to play.
Oh yeah, and obviously, I think with Newcastle, there will again be another summer of. It's an odd one with Newcastle's finances, but yeah, I can see why they want to get a bit more because obviously PSR wise, his sale would be pure profit.
Yeah.
But he is a signing I would be happy with. Like I say, I think he is the type of midfielder that Leeds fans will get behind.
He does seem to suit, doesn't he? Just in terms of being a fit.
Yeah.
Like someone who tear asses around, puts in effort. And I think he's a better footballer than he's getting credit for. But he's not a world beater. He's not going to be the guy that changes everything and makes us kick on to a certain level. But he's a good player who's played at a good level consistently for years. And it's not like, oh, well, he's played at a good level for years, but now he's really getting on a bit. He is 27.
God, I mean, by our standards, this transfer window, he's aging out, as they would say in Leonardo DiCaprio terms.
28 in October as well, so
God,
really old. He's too old for me to buy on Football Manager. Put it that way. But yeah, I think that he's like if we're playing the same 4-2-3-1, if we end up with like what are our midfielders? If we get just Longstaff, if we've got Ampadu, Tanaka, Gruev, and Longstaff, that's okay, but not great. If I've no against Gruev, but if Gruev went and was replaced by someone better, I'd feel a lot better about that 4. If we're going to play an actual 4-3-3 and stop playing with a 10, then you can probably keep Gruev because then you probably need 5 midfielders.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Although Brendan Aronson did give that interview saying how he actually likes playing as an 8, but something tells me that won't happen.
Don't put him that deep, Christ.
Oh, you thought you were getting knocked about before. Oh, God. Just you wait.
Oh, Brendan. There he was in the other news as well. Shirt release.
I've got that at the end of our notes, but we can talk about that because it says, finally, what do you think of the new home shirt? Did you barely notice it launched too?
Yeah, it just appeared one day, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was just the new home kit, isn't it? Because I'm pretty sure I said to you, I remember the days of me, you, and Connie rocking up to Ellen Road at 8 o'clock in the morning to get the shirt on release when no one was there. And then this year, they don't even give you the option to queue up or anything. It's just, oh, the shirt's out now, by the way. It's got a collar that's inspired by a tunnel.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's so middle of the road. Yeah, sure, fine. Like
it looks very, very similar to last season's shirt, and they have changed the collar.
Yeah, which is fine. I do think it's probably good that they didn't have a big build-up and everything, given how similar it is. Hopefully, we get a cool away shirt.
And the price point.
I honestly haven't even looked.
I'll let you have a quick look now.
I'm going to guess it's like, as you've brought it up, I'm going to say 70.
Oh, Mr. Robshaw, get yourself a can of Coke.
Oh, is that what it is?
It is,
Because
yeah.
I think it was 60 before.
Yes.
And the fact that you mentioned it made me assume it had gone up.
Yeah. It is £70.
Yeah, I won't be buying that.
I might do in January.
Yeah, if it's 35 quid, or if it's, I mean, there is one thing. Again, statistically likely will be shipped this season. It might be that at the end of this season it's 15.
Yeah. Yeah. Disappointing with the increase in the price. I think football shirts are absolutely ludicrously priced. And I get that for most of my life, it was just a universal, they are £40.
Mm.
And I somewhat understood that after a while, you probably had to allow a bit for inflation, but £70 for a football shirt is ludicrous.
Yeah. But when you look at, I mean, that's just true of everything, isn't it now? Like, obviously, there's the cap on away tickets prices, which is good. But there'll be stadiums that Leeds go to this season where people have been paying 100 quid for a ticket. And it's just insane. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, people will buy it, and therefore Leeds and Adidas will be able to entirely justify the price.
That bloody Adidasler.
Oh, the worst thing to come out of that part of the world.
Leeds have been linked with 1 million goalkeepers. Vanya Milinkovic-Savic is probably the most fun one. Because just think about what Leeds fans are like. A 6'8" Serbian goalkeeper that sometimes takes free kicks.
Brilliant. I'm all for it.
That's Leeds. Like, really. It can be shitting with like him.
I mean, admittedly, I have a very small sample size, but my first thoughts of really tall goalkeepers, I never feel like they're actually that good.
Yeah, the first things that I read about him were all saying, I know what you're thinking. He does actually get down well.
I mean, we all like to get down, but, come on.
His post-shot XG prevented numbers, which I know sounds wanky, but it's the same stat that had Melier as the worst goalkeeper in Europe. His numbers for that were outstanding last year and are pretty consistently good. Lucas Perry from Lyon, his are pretty good as well. Their Lyon's appeal against relegation is today. If they stay down, I think that becomes a lot more likely. And then there's Robin Zentner from Mainz and Finn Damon from Augsburg, who both, again, look pretty good. Finn Damon is the one that I thought it was a decent shout pretty much straight after promotion, because he's not at one of the bigger clubs. He won't be on big wages, and his mum's English, and he has expressed an interest that he would be that he'd be up for playing for England. And if you move to the Premier League and have a good 3 months, you might well get in the squad.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I think obviously the big one going into the summer was that we were interested in Nick Pope, with Newcastle looking to get James Trafford.
Which there is still noise about, but sounds like Pope might just want to stay anyway.
Yeah, I think because they're Champions League, aren't they, this year? So by the sounds of things, he wants to stay and be part of that, which I sort of get. If you want to give yourself a solid year of, I would like to compete to play in a Champions League team, or I will walk into a potentially relegation threatened team. Yeah, I'd maybe give it a year, see if I can keep my place in the Champions League team.
And the thing is that last time James Trafford played in the Premier League, and I don't think this will happen this time, but last time James Trafford played in the Premier League, he was so bad that he got dropped.
Yes, for another bad goalkeeper.
Wasn't it for Arianet Muric, who's awful?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he might well back himself, which is fair enough. But I do really want Leeds to get on with it in terms of the goalkeeper. Also get on with it in terms of someone going out. Like, we don't need 4 senior goalkeepers. I'm assuming someone is going to.
I'm looking at you, Alex Cairns.
Yeah, I'm assuming someone is going to. That was the other. I don't know how. I didn't look into the original sources of this, so I don't know if it's right. There was a bit of talk of Dominic Livakovic, who I believe that's is that Fenerbahce that he's at now? Yeah, Fenerbahce. Everyone who plays FM will know because he's been one of the best goalkeepers on Football Manager for about 10 years.
It's Croatian, of course he is.
Yeah, but he's been at Fenerbahce for a few years. He was Dynamo Zagreb forever. That's where you would always sign him from. There was like links saying we were going to pay about 8-9 million for him, and they wanted 13-14. The thing with that is that I don't know if it's just because the same people who made up some bollocks before were making up this bollocks, or if there was some truth to the Fenerbahce looking at Meslier rumours.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if some deal was done where we paid money and Meslier. If there's any, because that sort of suits all parties doing it. Well, long term, I don't think it'll suit. Although maybe going out to Fenerbahce and him getting a chance to clear his head will let Meslier turn into what he was 5 years ago.
I mean, the good thing about playing in Turkey is you're playing in front of a fairly calm fan base that doesn't have tendencies to overreact to high-profile mistakes.
Yeah, look, it is lucky that he'll be playing in an environment where they'll be nice to him.
Get that man to Austria. He'll be fine.
But yeah, we'll see with that. But I do want us to get a goalkeeper. Obviously, the pre-season friendlies don't matter in terms of results and stuff. But I was hoping we'd have a goalkeeper by the first one. And I keep not realising how soon that is.
Yeah, we've got 10 days yet.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it should be 10 days away to that game against Scum.
Yeah, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all fine, probably. Yeah, it is getting to that point, though, where, like, in terms of a striker, there's not really read much in the pipeline of targets or anything like that, despite the fact that we clearly want to sign a striker.
No, it's still Rodrigo Muniz ticking along in the background, isn't it? If they sign a striker, we go for him. Sounds like the most likely. Everton are signing Matieno Barry from Villarreal, so the Beto things came up again a little bit. It just what'll happen is we will end up with Armando Broja on loan.
Will he get injured?
Yes.
Statistically likely.
And on the opening day, Patrick Bamford scores the winner. Have you seen that picture of Bamford at pre-season?
No.
Dench Patrick Bamford.
Oh God, has he had his Jack Harrison?
He's had a Jack Harrison summer. Everyone was on Twitter going, "Damn, look at Patrick Bamford though," which is sort of Leeds in a nutshell. God, we need to improve him. We need to improve. We need to improve. And then everyone just looks and goes, "But Patrick Bamford though." Ooh.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're not much further. Obviously, we're not really much further ahead than we were when we did the last podcast. We are still looking at a goalkeeper. We're looking at centre mids coming in. We're looking at a number 9.
I am now at least happy with the defence. I still wouldn't mind another left back.
It's just depth as well, like the fullbacks.
Well, what would we be now? We'd be Bogle and Gudmundsson first choice, and then Schmidt and Byram. And we know Farker doesn't like Schmidt. And then I suppose, to an extent, Bornau can play right back by all accounts, and Strauch can play left back.
Yeah. And one day I will not forget about Isaac Schmidt.
Yeah, I do always forget about him, but
you have to write a post-it note whenever we do a podcast. Just write the word Schmidt on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there. I just, like you say, would like us to make a bit of progress on a striker and have settled on a target for goalkeeper.
Yeah, because we've been linked with so many goalkeepers, and nearly all of them have been ones where I've gone, yeah, actually a pretty decent keeper. But the longer it goes, you do just start, because as much as he did well at the end of last season, if we go into like the first game of the Premier League season with Caldalo in goal, I will be a bit worried. And if it's Melier, I'll be even more worried. If it's Alex Cairns, I'll actually be fine.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But I'd just be at a base level of, fuck it. At that point, why not?
Yeah, I think yeah, like I said, I think it's just a case of wanting to see a bit more progress with it now. And I appreciate we've got 2 months or just shade under now of the transfer window still.
Yeah.
It's normally like 2nd of September or something like that.
Yeah, isn't it usually whatever the Monday is?
Yeah. Whenever Sky Sports wants it to close, I imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that thing of you'd probably like to see, and I'm not counting Longstaff in this because it feels like he's pretty much there. I mean, terms have been agreed already. It's just a case of the fee. But
yeah, it seems likely, doesn't it?
I'd definitely like to see one more through the door before the Man United game.
Oh, I did just, because we're about to finish, just quickly open Twitter, just in case. And this did actually happen before we started the podcast. I just haven't looked. Like I said, we were thinking about, we were looking at that Enahoro Marcus from Liverpool. Yeah, we signed him an hour ago.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, young centre back. There you go. That's all. That helps, which has been mentioned before the podcast ended, which is always good. And they are going back to showing the 21s games, aren't they? Like properly, because they've got rid of that stupid rule where if it clashes with a Premier League game, you can't show it.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to watching the 21s nearly every game, probably now. I would have thought. A lot of them might be while I'm working, so I'll only half watch, but still.
It's good to have the option.
Yeah. But yeah, that will do us for episode 321. Good. So Gudmundsson is like cautious thumbs up.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, and we'll see from there. But we'll be back probably. If Longstaff happens tomorrow, we probably won't be back. If a few things have happened, if a few things happen in a few days, we'll probably be back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been Jack.